Good morning, this is Stat Sensei, Mr. Spensei, and we are going to do a chi-square goodness of fit exit ticket. It says use scenario 2, know your place, or know your place scenario. And it says which location 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 had the greatest contribution to the chi-square statistical. So let's go back and look. A grocery store manager wishes to determine whether a certain product will sell equally well in any of 5 locations in the store. 5 displays are set up. Each product is randomly assigned to one of the locations in the store. When we add those up, we find out they're 206. So we need to calculate our expected values, which are just going to be, in this case, they want them to be the same. They want them to be uniform. So 206 divided by 5 is 41.2. So these need to be 41.2 all the way across. And I'm going to go ahead and run this, even though we did this in the previous video. So, and this is also 206. And I went ahead and stat edit and I entered my data into stat edit. Then I went stat test chi-squared goodness of fit, make sure it's letter D. Press enter. Degrees of freedom is categories -1, so 5 minus 1. And we ended up with a chi-squared value of 8.9029. So we're going to write that down because we're going to refer back to that. Chi-squared equals 8.9029. Now, what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be studying this contribution thing. And if I scroll across, I can sit there and see the contribution. And I'll come back to that in just a moment. So first off, what is contribution? Because that's that contribution. I know people think it's contraband, but no, this contribution um, is where we get to determine which value had the greatest impact. So in this case, chi-squared, if I had not abbreviated, I would have gone 43 minus 41.2 squared over 41.2. That's the first one. Plus 29 minus 41.2 squared over 41.2 plus 52 minus 41.2 squared over 41.2. It gets a little bit monotonous here, but we're going to go ahead and finish this out like a good statistician. Okay, just because I don't have a choice. Let's be honest. Plus 48 minus 41.2 squared over 41.2. All right. So there's my values. When I scroll out, I get my contributions. And you're like, well, how did they do that? I'm going to go ahead and write the contributions down, and then I'm going to show you what they did. So this contribution to this first one is 0.0786. And I'm going to put C and TRB because that's where it came from. We got it off the calculator. Oops, I'm going to have to rerun that test real quickly because I lost that. There, everything's back. The next one was 3.612. So 3.6126. The next one, 2.8310. Then we have a 1.2582. And lastly, we have a 1.1122. All right, so first off, if I add up these values, watch what happens. 0.0786 plus 3.6126 plus 2.8310 plus 1.2582 plus 1.122. I end up getting 8.902. That's my chi-squared value. So these are the values that sum up to the chi-squared. If I put plus this, plus this, plus this, it equals the chi-square. Well, which one is the largest? This one. So this had the greatest contribution because it was the biggest. And so location number 2 had the biggest impact. Well, where did that come from? Well, let's take a look. If I take 29 minus 41.2 and close those parentheses and square it, and then I divide by the 41.2, I get my contribution. So each one of the little chi-squared values is what makes the contribution. All right, so that's where that comes from. And we need to answer the question, and the question is location 2 had the largest impact. Why? Because it differed the most. Because this went 29 minus 41.2, so it had the biggest difference. This is the next biggest, so let's take a look. What's 29 minus 41.2? Well, this is differed by 12.2. The other one, 52 minus 41.2, differed by 10.8. So that one differed by 12.2, this by 10.8. Location 2 had the largest impact because it differed more from the expected. All right, I hope that helps with your understanding of the contributions, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you.